Welcome to the Sample Chapter Podcast, the show where authors read a sample chapter from one of their books. Here's your host, Jason A. Meiske.
Happy New Year! Welcome back to another episode of the Sample Chapter Podcast. My name is Jason A. Meiske, and I am your host going into year 2. Oh my gosh. Wow, it's next week actually. The middle of January 15th, will be 1 year since I began this show and began this adventure with you and the listeners and so many great authors that we've had on the show this past year. Wow. I mean, I'm blown away that it's been a year. But we'll get into that here in a minute. This is my first time I'm going to do just a totally raw audio, so you can hear a little bit of a frog in my throat still from this sickness I've been trying to get over. I'm not going to do any editing. I'm just going to, as some of my fellow podcasters say, warts and all, you're going to hear it all. So hopefully my coughing doesn't, I don't have another coughing fit or anything like that. But anyway, like I said, Happy New Year. I'm so happy that you came back. I hope your New Year was good. I hope your holidays were good. We went on a little bit of a hiatus. We had some episodes and interviews that had come up that we were looking into to doing, and I've got some in reserve. Pardon me. We decided to just go ahead and hold off for Christmas. I had actually kind of planned on doing an episode, a year in review for New Year's, but I held off a little too long, and I don't know how your New Year's was, but my New Year's was spent with the flu. So not a great time. So it actually, it wasn't that bad that night. We had a decent night. Just spent time at home with my family. We played some board games and had a really great time. But unfortunately, one of my kids was sick all day. Before midnight, one of the other ones got sick, and overnight it just kind of started spreading. And by 5 a.m, New Year's Day, I was the next victim, and it just kind of went on like that the rest of the week. And the cold that I got, you heard in that last episode, my voice, excuse me, that cold, it's weird, it went away from while I had the flu, but then it came back with vengeance afterwards. So I don't know. I've got one of those, something about my chest. Colds just love to settle in there and stick around for a while. But oh well, it's like I said, I've said before, I'm just a very easygoing guy, so it takes a lot to really get me down. Pardon me. That did get me down. The sickness did, but I still enjoyed my New Year's with my family. Had a nice time, and just spent a couple of days completely laying down, doing like nothing for a few days after that. Fortunately, man, I tell you what, God bless my wife. She was the only one who didn't get sick right away. She actually didn't get sick for several days, until several days after. So she was the only one who didn't get sick on New Year's. So she was taking care of all of us, including the 2 grandbabies who ironically did not get sick. So she's taking care of their needs and taking care of all of us sickies around the house and making sure we got, Gatorade and drinks and other food and snacks, crackers, and just taking care of everything that we needed for the next several days until finally it caught up with her. I think it was this past Sunday or Monday it finally caught up with her. So poor thing. But anyway, we're all on the mend now. Where the flu is finally gone, and a few of us have got the cold. But New Year's was good. I hope yours was good too. Well, I'm gonna stop talking about sickness. Nobody wants to hear about that. But the other exciting thing that happened through the holidays is I am no longer a 2-job guy. I've got my day job has. I've made enough decisions this past year and been a little bit wiser about how I do some things and kind of streamline some funds Excuse me. And so yeah, I've been able to finally leave that second job, and the idea is I'm going to be putting more time into my writing, of course, and also this show. I have an opportunity to move our show, move again. We're still working at the details on how this is going to work, because I do not want to lose any of my backlist shows, and I really don't want to re-air them. Put them back out on another service or something. We're trying to figure that out. But we are looking to be moving over to MBR, that is the Military Broadcast Network, here very, very soon. It could be next week, it could be the week after that, it could be February. And that's assuming it all works out. But I'm very excited. The owner and operator and DJ, Joel Hunt, I've been listening to one of his shows and corresponding with him and his assistant, Brandy, the assistant president with the company, and they've been doing a fantastic job with what they do and how they put a lot of focus on veterans. And as a veteran myself, I really appreciate all the work they do. So I'm really honored to have an opportunity that it's looking good. It's looking really good that we're going to be moving the show over there, and I'm excited that I'm going to get to widen the audience and reach out to people around the world. Not just, of course, through the internet, but through other networks. And this is exciting, a really exciting time. So, but with that also means I'm going to get to start bringing on some more sponsors and a little bit of advertising. And that's, I who doesn't like earning some money for doing things that they love? So that's an exciting part of this too. Is that this I don't know what you want to call this show, a hobby that I started a year ago, is going to turn into something that can actually be a source of income, and that's pretty cool. It's I just wanted to do this show as a way to highlight other authors, give authors a voice, give them a way to reach out to new readers, listeners around the world who and because like I said all along, when an author writes a book, not everybody has a big marketing budget. And so once they've written a book and they put that book out, it's like, well, now what do I do? I mean, it's up and it's available on Amazon. Even if you're with a small press, a lot of times it's up to the author to take care of all the marketing themselves. They got to schedule things. They've got to tell the world that, hey, I wrote this book. Please read it. Please buy it. So my hope was that this little show of mine will be a way to give authors of all kinds a voice, to let people know, hey, here's another great story. And man, what a year it's turned into. I mean, golly, just these last 6 months. I did a 6-month review, almost 6 months back over the summer. And look back at our first 6 months. Now, I'm looking back again. I mean, we just some of the notable people from just our last 6 months. We had the one and only Scott Meyer of the Master Formalities book, which is what he read from. But most notably, it's his Magic 2.0 series, the Off to Be the Wizard and such. And I know he's got a lot of exciting things in the works, a lot of exciting things going on with that series that he couldn't go into, but there's some exciting things coming from Scott still. So I mean, you got to check out his books. But that blew me away to get a chance to talk with Scott Meyer, radio personality and movie critic Kevin Carr came on. He's also an independent author, puts out his books on his own. He came on and read from one of his books. You can hear him every week on Fat Guys at the Movies, and that's just been a blast. And and the nice thing with Kevin is he's also extremely approachable. If you follow him online on social media or whatever, you can post something or reach out to him, and he responds, and it's really great. He's really fantastic to talk to. Another guy, just in the last couple months, Tim Meyer. He's an independent, but he has really hit some big time here lately with one of his latest releases, and he's got, I believe, 2 new books that have just been announced, about to come out. One of them was picked up by a publisher, so he's really having a fantastic run right now, and I think you're going to be hearing his name a lot more in the coming time. So make sure you follow that name, Tim Meyer. And of course, one of the real highlights for me in the last 6 months was meeting with actress Diane Franklin. Oh my gosh, that was so incredible. This is the Diane Franklin, the '80s babe from the movies. You got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Better Off Dead, Amityville 2, so many iconic '80s movies that she was in, and she's got a couple of books already about her life as an actress, about doing these movies, and she's working on new ones. She's working on a book about doing filming Better Off Dead. She's opened up some other opportunities for me with some other actors and actresses. So we've got some really exciting new interviews coming up this year. But yeah, talking with Miss Franklin was just incredible. She was so nice and sweet to talk to. Excuse me. And hopefully this year, or whenever the next Bill and Ted comes out, hopefully she does get to be in there, returning as Princess Joanna. And so it's that'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, that's just 4 of our authors that we've had in the last 6 months. But I mean, going down the list real quick, most recent, W.B. Welch. Her book Blood Drops has really taken off. It's really skyrocketed and doing really well. I'm so proud of her and so happy for her success. Ernest Soler with his Spirit of Sasquatch book. Michael A. O'Leary Jr., Sally Bernethi, Elizabeth Clayman, Joe Moore. Joe Moore, actually, I've been seeing his name in the paper, hearing about him on the radio. His book about color commentary, radio personalities in the sports world. That book has really taken on a new life, and what's really cool is that book also, the proceeds go towards it goes to a charity that he heads up that helps out children who are I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if they're orphans or if they're special needs children is what it is basically what it comes down to. And that's just such a cool thing that he's doing that, and I'm so happy to see that his book is gaining a lot of attention regionally and hopefully outside the Missouri area as well. Frank Edler, he's a friend of Tim Meyer's actually, and I actually just finished one of Frank's books. He writes bizarro fiction, and that was my first foray into bizarre fiction. And what can I say? It was bizarre, but it was a lot of fun to read. Janelle Samara, Jessica Walsh, W.L. Ripley, buddy of mine from here in Missouri, writing his crime thrillers. We got Carl Alves, Chris Daly, Christina Alvarez, Jen Gentry, Daniel L. Naden, Leslie Petrick, Joanne Fisher, and D.L. Rogers. I think that's everybody from the last 6 months, but if I've missed anyone, I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to I want to you've all been fantastic. You've all been amazing, and looking ahead this year, we've already got a great lineup of authors coming up, and January is going to be another fantastic month with some really, really great authors. As always, the show currently is still we're still sponsored by U Store All here in Warrensburg, Missouri. They've been a fantastic supporter, and I'm really, really just blessed to have a company that basically from the start They listened to what I was saying, listened to what the show was going to be about, checked out the first couple episodes, and then said, yeah, we think this is a cool idea. And they've been with me ever since. And, I can't thank them enough. So make sure you check out, if you're in the market for self-storage, maybe you're a college student and, you're looking ahead to this summer when you go home. You don't want to haul everything home with you, do you? Make sure to check them out at ustorall.net. That is the letter U, STORALL.net. So anyway, that's just a quick rundown of what we've been up to this past year. Some of our fantastic guests. Golly, it's just been, I'm blown away. The show has really opened up a whole nother world for me, and I'm just thrilled to be here. Some of my goals for the upcoming year, of course, with the potential move to MBR, I am looking for more avenues of growing the show. Hopefully pick up a few more advertisers and help make things a little bit more comfortable. Because when you're doing the show, for you, the listener, the show's free, but for us making the show, it's not free. We've got online support, we've got things that have to get paid for, we've got our time, and it's amazing how much time can be spent just sitting off doing the recording. Of course, I go through and I edit every show. I edit for the authors because I want the authors to be comfortable. I want them not to worry about that they have to read this perfectly. This isn't a live show. This is recently recorded often episode that you're hearing, and I go back through and I edit the particularly the reading that the author does, so that way if they make any mistakes, if they've read the wrong word, if they've done anything wrong, if there's been an interruption in the background, I can edit that out and make the reading as clean as possible. So and all that takes time, and as they say in the marketing world or in the business world, time is money, and and that's true. When it comes to being an author, there's writing for the love of it and the joy of it, but there's also writing. You need to write and get paid for that, that time that's spent. And clearly, I don't think my first book that came out last year, it's not going to make back. How do you say this? It's not going to, the time I spent, which was almost 7 years writing that book, I'm not going to make back the value of my time from that year. But, I'm learning, and I'm learning how to streamline that process, because as you put out more books, you get the best thing you can do is put out the next book and then the next book. And the more books you put out, the greater your reach, the greater chances of people finding you, and that helps you earn some money and make your time as a writer even greater, even more valuable, I guess would be the way to put it. There's still the love for it, and I really have found a genuine love for creating words on paper. But as a family man, as a caretaker for my family, it is important for me to make sure that my time is spent doing things that are going to benefit my family. I guess that's the good way to put it. Hobbies are fun, but you need to make sure that if it's only a hobby, you got to make sure you're prioritizing, and that the hobbies are not taking place of when you could be doing something more. So anyway, I'm hopeful that this coming year I can pick up a few more advertisers, and we'll continue to do some great things with the show. On my author goals for this year, I do plan, my low end plans are to do 2 more books. Of course, I had hoped to do that last year, but it was difficult, to say the least, just to get the first one done. I'm hoping that this year, that's my plan, is to do 2 books. My lofty goal for 2019 is 4 books. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know how likely that is. We'll see what happens. But But at least a minimum of 2 books this year. Hopefully I'll have the first book ready here in the next couple months, because I am pushing pretty hard right now, and we'll see what happens. But I'll be sure to let you know when my next book is available. I'm also working on my author website. I have the domain name, and hoping to publish that real soon. I want to go, right now I'm Amazon exclusive with my book 9 Mile Bridge, but I do plan to go wide with either this book or maybe one of my future books, and it'll go wide because I'd like to learn how to do some of these things where Walmart has gotten into the book publishing business, and I was checking that out at the book section at Walmart the other day, and how cool that is that you can go in there and you just pick up this little card, and you get the card, you purchase that card, and it's got a scan on the back, and that book then downloads to your device. And that's a pretty cool thing. Just imagine, as an independent author, how cool would that be to see your book on the shelves at Walmart? How would you like to tell your friends and family, oh yeah, no, you can go to Walmart and get my book? It's just that's funny to me. I like that idea. That's really neat. I'm also, since I've got some equipment here, I'm looking into perhaps developing an audiobook this year as well. Whether I do it myself, or maybe I hire somebody, or maybe go through a service, we'll see what happens. But I think an audiobook would be a really cool thing. I don't know if, like I said, because I'm thinking about maybe doing it myself. I don't know if I would do my first book, 9 Mile Bridge, because it is a female protagonist, and I don't think I can, I don't think with my voice I can sell being a teenage girl, But, we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping to attend more events, more book events, more author events, and just kind of get more involved out there in the writing community and do more things, and broaden my reach, I guess, would be the thing to do. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. Don't forget to like the show on whatever it is that you're listening to, iTunes, or we're on all the podcast services anymore. And I don't know how this is going to work with the move, but we're going to do our best to make it as smooth a transition as possible, and we'll see what happens when we move from Podcast Garden over to Libsyn. It was actually a very smooth transaction, and nothing was lost, nothing was changed, and it just kind of continued from there. So hopefully this new move will be the same. And but like I said, make sure you're following us on social media, so that way you'll be I'll update things as it goes and let you know what's happening, and let you know if you need to update or go to a different site or whatever. But I just want to say thank you to all you listeners, all you subscribers out there who've been following us. I hope this show has been something of value for you, and my hope is that 2019 will be even better yet. Thank you so much. If you would like to be a guest, reach out to us on any of those social media platforms, or reach out to us on our email at samplechapterpodcast@gmail.com, and we will see you. We will be back into your listening ears next week with a new author, a new book, and a new sample chapter. Thank you so much, everybody, and Happy New Year.